Hey guys, just wanted to do my review of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 17, The Team. The debut of the Secret Warriors finally in action since Gaiera captured, took over the Zephyr and brought it to the Hydra base where Hive and Malik were residing. It's up to Daisy and Lincoln to call in the other Secret Warriors, who are just basically Joey and Yo-Yo. Joey's on a date with a guy, and Yo-Yo's about to get on a bus and apparently meet up with one of her relatives. Until they're signaled by Daisy. The Quinjet comes to pick them up and tells them about the situation, and they're able to parachute into the base. They knock basically. Team Coulson's they're in a room in the Zephyr trying to fight off some Hydra agents led by Lucio, who has the power to freeze people with his eyes, like Medusa, kind of. And they're using it, and they're barricading the door, using gas to fight them off. And the Secret Warriors, they bust through the wall through the hallways of the base. Joey and Yo-Yo, because of their Hispanic backgrounds, they're kind of bonding and speaking Spanish, talking about how many guys are gonna emerge when they get out of the elevator. And they use their powers to subdue them. Lincoln's using his lightning powers and martial arts to take down Hydra agents one by one, and he throws one of them through a window and captures Malik. And Daisy's in the control room, opening up the hangar so the Zephyr can escape, and Elena Yo-Yo is able to take out the other Hydra agents trying to go after Team Coulson after they get back on board the Zephyr and escape. And Gaiera says that they feel like they failed, when Hive just says that they haven't, because he's apparently used his abilities to brainwash one of the Secret Warriors into being his mole. And when and they even take the dead body of Lucio, who Joey killed in order to help Lincoln when he froze. So Lucio froze Lincoln. Joey tried to kill him in order to snap him out of it, but Lincoln was still frozen at the time, and Daisy is able to gather everybody and bring them back on board, and Coulson goes to interrogate Gideon Malik, and he says that he mentions how his daughter was dead, Hive killed her, and he regrets even dedicating his whole life and fortune to bringing him back. He's saying how he felt like he thought he was going to bring back a god, but he just freed the devil. And he even mentions about Hive's mind control powers, and that he's probably influencing the Secret Warriors. Coulson's skeptical, but he's not willing to take any chances, so he has the base locked down. He lets all the inhuman members of Team Coulson in on what's going on, and Fitz and Simmons are running tests on Lucio's corpse, who is still showing metabolic. His body, he's still showing the same body temperature, 98.6 degrees, and they cut open his brain, and it finds out it's black, which means that Malik was telling the truth, and it is infected. And Coulson tries to appeal to Malik and say, I can offer you a chance of getting revenge and avenging your daughter if you help me take down Hive. And Malik agrees to talk. And of course, there's different moments where, the team's bonding about the mission in the locker room, and Mac is showing Yo-Yo around, and how about their origins of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the different weapons they use. They're using mostly non-lethal weapons, except for these like grenades that kind of look like landmines. I don't know if anybody remembers They first appeared in the Dirty Half Dozen, and Simmons tried to use it on Grant Ward at one point. Um, but he also, but and basically when basically Daisy is the one that gets suspicious about Coulson's lying to her and about what's going on and keeping her out of the loop. And then when they realize they're trying to, and then when the Secret Warriors realize the Shield agents are trying to quarantine them, Coulson says what's happening, and tensions start to rise until Yo-Yo grabs a gun, and they go into the common room where Joey was missing, and he melts the doorknobs, and they try to barricade the doors. And the Secret Warriors start fighting with each other, getting paranoid as to who's being infected, as to who was doing what when, and so Daisy decides to take one of the secret elevators that only Coulson told her about in order to try to escape. But Coulson was prepared for that, and he ends up putting them in one of the white court. I can't remember what they're called. Like those white rooms that they propel. White rooms that kind of like propel people that they usually like quarantine. I guess one of those white rooms to imprison the Inhumans. And Coulson starts to suspect Lincoln is the mole because of the fact that all of a sudden he gets, all of a sudden like he knows about this guy named Jack, who told them and where he's hiding and how he knows it. And how he knows about the object they can use on Hive, and he's the one who, took the And then, of course, in the beginning of the episode, he talks about how he was being secretive about using the Terrigen crystal as a bargaining chip to manipulate Jax to get intel, and then Lincoln starts to get angry and defensive, and because the mind control thing is like they're not completely self-aware, or I guess they are kind of self-aware, but it's a little complicated. But basically he starts like attacking the members of the team, and Daisy's the one that has to subdue them. They're put in all like separate white rooms, and basically like the trust of Shield the trust of the Secret Warriors between Shield and the whole team is basically dissolved because they don't want to risk being brainwashed. Because Tulsa says he doesn't want to risk them getting brainwashed by Hive, and Elena's bitter because it's like she put her faith in. First she felt the Mexican government was corrupt, and now she feels like another government agency is corrupt. And when Matt calls her Yo-Yo, she says when she's being escorted to her quarters, her prison, she says, "My name is Elena." And then after Simmons is taking a blood sample from Joey, he says he doesn't want to stay here. He doesn't want to stick around. And there are like a few nice moments, like Fitz and Simmons being frustrated that they're not being able to help their friends, and they start holding hands and they kiss, and Fitz apologizes and worries about taking things too slow, and Simmons says like it's been 10 years, we might as well not waste any more time. And Fitz says something like, I don't need space, I have the greatest thing in the universe, and he says this picture of space on my wall jokingly, and then they kiss instead of just making it like super dramatic, which I thought was kind of subverted the trope a little bit, and I appreciated. But then it turns out, since Daisy knows this to help design the prison and knows how to access them, she's the one that tells Lincoln that they can get them out, they can go run away together, and they can leave Shield behind. And that's kind of a red flag for Lincoln because he knows Daisy well enough to know that she would never leave Shield behind, not even for him. And then there are flashbacks revealing that she's the one that was brainwashed by Hive, because this is the thing I appreciate about. They show that she was in the control room when she overheard on the intercom saying, Lincoln saying that he has Malik, and that's when he used this dust to like brainwash her. And then there's the flashback into when she grabbed that grenade and confronted Malik and used his powers to crush him, like Gideon saw in his vision. And he just didn't realize that it was. I mean, Hive was indirectly responsible. He just didn't realize that Daisy was the one who was going to be directly kill him directly. And then she just left a bomb there, even though Fitzsimmons found it, and the body, and that was just supposed to be a cover up to see this was supposed to cover up how he really died, but that didn't work out. And then the episode ends with, and Lincoln, you can tell like how hurt he is, because this is what was nice about having all these little like Chekhov's guns for the past previous episodes, like Lincoln opening up about his anger issues and his drinking, and how basically Daisy exploited the former in order to set him up as a traitor, and how Coulson brought up the fact that if he wasn't affected during the rescue, that we didn't see Lincoln during his fight with Hive and the company Transia. So now I was thinking, maybe he was infected there, maybe he was infected at that time, and all these little red herrings, like Joey went missing for most of the episode, and Elena was being showed around the playground, their base, and their different weapons, and also the fact that they mentioned also earlier how Hive absorbs the memories of his previous host, so which kind of makes sense that he would choose Daisy to basically manipulate and to basically brainwash, because of Ward's previous infatuation with her. And so the episode just ends with Daisy going on this rant about how the Hive filled her with this emptiness, and how they both care about Lincoln to make this better world, and Lincoln doesn't want to be any part of it. Lincoln tries to reason with her, but Daisy ends up storming out, grabbing the device from Jack and all the Terrigen crystals, and using her quake powers to cause the whole base to start collapsing. And of course she destroyed the card scanner on her side of the door to the hangar, so Coulson can't get through. And so it just ends on the base collapsing, and that's what I appreciated. That apparently the writers took the time to map out. This is what I really appreciate about this season, is how the writers are taking time to really map out these different arcs throughout these episodes. And so it seemed like all these there was a lot of build up and like I said, Chekhov's guns and plot points that ended up playing a bigger role in this episode. And that's something I can really appreciate, unlike, tonight's episode of Flash, where it's they mapped it out, but then all of a sudden it just kind of goes to crap because it opened up all these different plot holes, and it was lazy writing, or Arrow, where their whole who's in the grave plot was just done on the fly, and Katie Cassidy got kicked to the curb, and just showed how and it was a testament to how the writers on that show did not appreciate that actress in any way, shape, or form. But I digress. It was this twist ending, the thought of I never suspected. There were enough red herrings that I didn't think that Daisy would be the one who would turn on the team and actually be the villain for this last stretch of season 3. I thought it was a really great twist. And I never think of, now we get Daisy as a bad as a villain. I think it's going to be an interesting last couple of episodes, and it's the reason why this is probably one of my favorite episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D. Do you guys feel the same way? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.